Well, how's recovery going?
It's going good. I'm 3 weeks out of surgery. I got 1 more week in the sling, so just get out of this sling. It's starting to get a little irritating for me, but it's going good.
Are you allowed to talk about what the injury was or what the surgery was?
You can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I tore my labrum, so it's I did it on my right side as well, so I'm used to it. I've had this surgery before, so it's a minor surgery. It is what it is. So I'm just trying to bounce back, trying to get ready for pro day.
Yeah, what's the recovery time until you're able to kind of get
5 to 6 months, so it's going to be cutting it close, but for one day, hopefully I won't bench on pro day. That'll be the one thing that I'll really be limited on, but I'm hoping to be able to do everything else as long as everything goes on track and everything like that, so that's the plan.
When you had the surgery, was part of the thinking about when you'd have it because of pro day, or was that just the natural time to have it with that kind of injury?
Nah, I mean, it was a thought, but I talked to 2 surgeons, and they both said that I wouldn't be able to play on it because of the size of the tear. I just had no stability or anything in my shoulders. So part of it was the thought, but really it was I wouldn't have been able to play on it even with a brace and everything like that. They both recommended me to just get it done right now.
What did you think when you found out that you were done for the year and your Carolina career was over?
Yeah, I mean, I was devastated. I mean, look at what the team's done. We're going to the ACC championship. We're 9-2. It's been a great year. So, I mean, I had a little part in this, but I don't think I really did a whole bunch this year. But I mean, this team's been great. I mean, we won a bunch of close games and things like that. So it hurts me, but to see what the team's doing, see guys step up in roles. I mean, I'm not the only one that's been injured just on the D line. I mean, you look at Noah Taylor, Des Evans, Caleb Hood. Those are all starters that have went down, and guys have stepped right into those roles, and we just kept it rolling this year. So I'm happy for those guys.
Ray, when did you do it?
Virginia Tech.
Okay. Can you take us through that, just like how it happened? And
Yeah, I was just pressing a guy back, and I went to throw him down, and when I threw him down, I just felt a pop in my shoulder, and it just popped out. And I kind of knew right then that something was wrong, and then got evaluated, got an MRI, and that was kind of that from there.
how long did you allow yourself to feel sorry for yourself? Or did you have a grieving period? Are you still in the grieving period? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
how has it been personally?
Just personally, just kind of disappointed. That's all it is. I mean, not like grieving. It's just like, I wish I was playing. That's really all it is. I've dealt with injuries and things like that, and I've been able to play through them most of my career, but this one, it just didn't happen that way. But I'm happy for the team. I mean, that's what it's all about, the team at the end of the day. So.
You kind of understand perseverance because of what you went through when you got out of high school, and you missed a whole year, I guess, in junior college. Can you go back to there and kind of take us through that, what you learned from that, and just the interesting path that you traveled to get here?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to kind of just trust yourself, trust the process, and just work hard. That's really the main thing. You just have to believe in yourself, because at that point there wasn't a whole lot of interest or things like that, and it was just grind and just kind of just take it day by day. That's really the best thing to do, is just take it day by day and just take it for what it is. There's good days, bad days. That's what happens with injuries. I mean, you see the guys around here. I mean, it's all those guys are hurting right now. It's not even the injury. It's just getting through those things when you're not on the field. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. You're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have good days. But it's a process, and when you get to the end of it, you usually grow. So it's a good thing.
When you went to JC, did you tell people you were going to play major college football, and did anybody say, I don't know, you didn't really have the specs for it in high school?
Yeah, no, I had a dream, but I never really, I wasn't vocal about it or anything like that. And I wasn't sure I was going to work out, so I never vocalized it or anything, but deep down, yeah, I had dreams to play Power 5. That was always my goal, but I wasn't sure if I was going to reach those goals.
Not many guys take the path that you did. I'm just kind of curious. If someone doesn't know anything about you and they ask you, what is your football story? How would you begin the football story?
That's a good question.
Because most everybody else here, they're recruited, they get offered when they're sophomores, but you have a totally different road.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to dive into my whole high school thing and everything like that. I wasn't on a great powerhouse football team. A lot of the guys I play with, they didn't lose any games in high school. They were competing for state championships. I wasn't in a situation like that. So I love football at the end of the day. That's really what I would start with is I love this game. Injuries are part of it, but I really do enjoy football at the end of the day. So that's really what I would start with. That's what got me here.
What has Carolina meant to you, especially with senior day coming up on Friday?
Oh man, it's been a great experience. I mean, to come in, I was part of Coach Brown's first recruiting class, and we've won every year since. And just to see the guys, I've had great teammates. I've had guys go to the NFL, guys that haven't, but it's been great teammates, friends that I'll have for the rest of my life, I'm sure. And it's been a great time here. That's really what I'll say about it.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, you know, sitting when you're in high school or even in JUCO in Illinois, like, could you have imagined where you are now?
No.
North Carolina of all places. And
No, I never would have thought, and I never would have thought I would have went to a Power 5 school that would have had this much success. I figured if I did, with how my recruiting process was going, I would have been at a school that was below 500, a school that was struggling. I mean, I came to a place that's getting 5 stars consistently, great players, playing with guys that are competing for the Heisman, things like that. I never would have thought that back in those days.
you were ready to enter like the workforce, right? Did you have a
Yeah.
job lined up?
Yeah, out of high school, I was just gonna go work. My brothers kind of helped me out, get me into college and things like that. Just sign up and just showed up, and kind of things worked the way they did.
Who recruited you initially from here?
Coach Deke Adams, he was the first guy to ever offer me. He kind of just came out of the blue. He saw my film, came down, and then that coaching staff got let go. I came to the NC State game with the brawl. That was my first Carolina game. I came with the Fedora coaching staff, and then Coach Brown came in and they saw my film and they pursued to recruit me after.
So you committed to Coach Brown?
Coach Brown, yeah, I never committed to Coach Fedora. He was just one of the active coaches recruiting me. Once they offered me, then other schools really kind of came along as well.
Were you close to committee to Coach Fedora? You also had Kansas in your list.
Yeah, I had Kansas, like Oregon State, some smaller Power 5 schools. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna come here. That was the plan the whole time. But then I came here, and then like the next day, Coach Fedora got fired. So it was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I didn't know Coach Brown was gonna be the next coach or anything like that. So that was my plan initially, and then they kept recruiting me. So yeah, I decided to come here.
So you almost, I don't think I say you fell into it, but consider your path. Next thing you know, you're playing for Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. The guy that's won a national championship. Then I played for Coach Shiz, another national champion. Yeah, it's a wild deal that happened for me.
The term storybook, I think, is overused a lot, but is there something storybook about your experience here?
Yeah, I would say so. It's been a wild ride. It's been a grind for sure. And I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't know if I call it a storybook or whatever. It just is what it is. It was my path, and it was a good path, and I enjoyed it. I really did.
Even though you won't be playing, what do you feel like, what will your emotions be like going through that tunnel for the last time in Keenan?
It will be a lot of emotions and things like that at senior night, but I just want to be state, after last year, that was one of my main goals coming back is to win this game. It's a game that I wish I was playing in, so that's the main goal this week.
Ray, do you watch the games when they're on the road? I assume you're on the sideline for the home games, or like and what kind of fan are you, or what kind of observer are you?
I mean, honestly, I watch every game, but I'm one of those people, I just watch the O-line and D-line. I don't really watch the skill positions or even when we're on offense, I just watch the O-line. So I really, and the same when I watch the NFL, I just watch the O-line and D-line. That's all I care about. So I just watch what happens in the trenches. That's all I care about. And I watch every game, of course.
Who has stood out to you as improving the defensive line last couple of weeks? That
I think Travis Shaw against Georgia Tech played his best game here. Dominated when he was in. He had a limited number of snaps. He played dominant. That it was a big step for him, and I hope he can keep building on that. I mean, he's only a freshman. KJ Hester, both those noses have played great, I think, since I went down. They were playing great when I was playing too. We had a great rotation going. Javari Ritzy's really stepped up. Murph coming off the injury and everything, I think he's starting to get back in a groove. I think Chris has stepped in for Noah very well. Ruck has been very disruptive. So, I mean, I think all the guys they had a role, their role switched, and they've stepped into a bigger role, and they've become more productive and kind of really stepped into that, I think, a lot of those guys.
what do you think it's going to take for Travis to improve and take the next step next year?
Just time. I mean, how many defensive linemen do you see come in and play right away and dominate, but you can see with him, he has dominant potential. He has the size, the athleticism, everything like that. I think it's just time. I mean, the biggest thing for me is the game started to slow down as I got more and more reps, and I think with him, things will start to slow down. I think teams, as he gets older, are going to have to game plan for him. And when you're a guy they have to game plan for and things like that, and you're a disruptive player like him, I think those things will come, and he's just got to stay injury-free and things like that. So, yeah, I think just give him some time. And I mean, you already see flashes, but just consistently get better.
So was the NC State game that you were recruited to, that your first visit that time?
Yeah, that was my first visit, yeah. Yeah.
So what do you remember about that game, besides what happened at the end?
It was a physical game. I'll never forget this. This is probably one of my best memories. Javante, it was like his first game ever starting. Javante was number 25, I think, yeah. And I was like, who is 25? Like, I thought he was a senior because he was out there running over people, taking like 4 people to bring him down. I'm like, who is this? And I remember Mitch Mason telling me, he was like, yeah, he's a freshman or something like that. Like, he's really never played. I was like, man, that dude, especially, and then seeing Javante's career really take off. But yeah, that was the one thing I took from that game was Javante. I was like, who is this dude running like this? But yeah, that was my first experience, I would say.
Ray, are you composed when you watch the games? Or are you like throwing things around and losing your mind?
No, I'm composed. I don't get
Okay.
inside. I get a little fired up, but yeah, no, I'm not like that. I don't yell or anything like that.
Well, it's been some close games. I mean,
It has,
it's been walking a tightrope here.
Yeah, no, I mean, but that's what good football is. You got to win the close ones, and we've done that this year. So I got 100% belief in our offense. When our offense has the ball with less than 2 minutes left, I believe we're going to go down and score every time. So I have full belief in them.
When you
Did
watch
you
them
know
on the
much
road,
about the rivalry before, like in high school and stuff growing up? Did you know much about Carolina State and football?
I grew up in Big Ten country. We didn't get ACC network or anything down there, so I was familiar with it. I played like the college football games and stuff, but I wasn't huge. I was in the Midwest. Like that wasn't what we talked about out there.
Yeah. So since you've been a part of it, what would you tell your friends back home now about this rivalry?
I think it's one of the best rivalries in football. I mean, you're going to get a physical game, everybody's best shot, and I mean, it was my favorite game to play, and this is the game everybody gets ready for, so it's going to be good. Both teams are going to come in with great game plans and play a physical game.
Who was your team growing up, Ray? Did you pull for?
For college?
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
No, it wasn't.
You said you're
Notre Dame.
He said he liked Notre Dame.
I don't know. I like Wisconsin and Iowa. Those were my 2 schools that I liked growing up usually.
So some real Big Ten football.
Yeah,
good lineman schools.
exactly. Yeah, no, those were my schools.